hey, even a broken clock works twice a day. But did I call this market or did I call this market? Damn straight I called this market.
Hey everybody, Courtney Smith here, bringing the hammer to the market for over 45 years. Seems like we've been looking at this disclaimer for 45 years, but hey, you gotta read it, you gotta understand it. Very, very important. All right, let's talk about the S&P 500. Last week, I talked about the little triangle, the little pennant formation. I said it's supposed to break to the upside if this is a legitimate bull market, but instead it broke to the downside. I outlined last week so many reasons why I thought it was going to break down, and here we are. Now, as traders, we now know that the market's heading lower. The question now becomes how long and how far. So I'm going to focus a lot on that because there's no signs that the bull market is going to resume at this point. Not that I'm looking for some type of a crash. No. That's not going to happen right now. But let's now take a look at this. First of all, I've drawn two horizontal red lines there. And really, I think that the most likely bottom in this market is down near that 2215 level here on the S&P 500. If we break through that, then the next support is a lot of support down around 2180, 2185. So that's about as far as I'm looking for this. Why are we selling off? Well, I told you all the technical reasons last week. Fundamentally, I explained it as well. People have gotten to the point where the Trump pump is over. Now reality is setting in. Will he be able to follow through on his things that he's been talking about? And oh, by the way, what is he talking about? Do we really know what his policies are? Will his cabinet fight him or support him? So there's so many questions. People are saying, you know what? We just made a bunch of money in just a couple of, like 6 weeks. Let's take some profits off the table. Let's now wait and see what he actually does. I call this the disappointment phase. The disappointment phase will go through, the profit-taking phase will go through, and then we'll actually embark on a more sustainable bull market because it'll be based not on hope and theories of what Trump might do. It'll be based on more the reality of what he's going to do. So we're going to get more clarity over the next 3 weeks before he's inaugurated, and then of course the first 100 days will be the critical 100 days to see how much of the policies he sort of talked about will actually come true. So now we'll go through this disappointment phase. It won't last too long. All right, let's carry on. So that's the S&P. Here is the Dow. And pretty much the same picture, a little bit more bullish. Here's the NASDAQ, roughly the same. No big deal there. Okay, seasonality, our seasonality indicator remains bullish unless we break through about 130 on the Russell 2000. So I doubt if we're even going to break that on this dip. So that'll keep us on the long side. And remember, because the seasonality indicator is bullish, we want to have at least 50% larger positions than we normally would have. So keep that in mind. Now, let's start looking at what happens in post-election years. This is from Stock Traders Almanac. I highly recommend you subscribe. So the blue line is the one we should look at more than any other line because that would be all post-election years, and it has the most data, I should say, and that's why I like to pay attention to it. Let's look at that one first. You can see that all it does is chop sideways to April. It doesn't really do much of anything, and then we get a nice little rally up into the beginning of June. So let's stay focused on that for now, just the first half of the year. And so, you know what? That sounds perfectly reasonable to me. Remember, our yield curve collapses right about now, so that's going to keep a cap on the market. That fits with our seasonal here as well. Now, notice the second potential possibility would be the red line. That's all first elected presidents. Pretty much the same direction of curve, a little bit more bearish. And then the other thing would be the black line, which is a Republican first elected, and that's pretty much exactly the same as all elections. So I think we have a pretty good seasonal handle on what's going to happen here. Now, the yield curve, as I mentioned, collapses, and that's not bearish. but it's going to be extremely difficult for the market to rally here over the next several weeks until early February when that pressure is taken off. So keep that in mind. Asset allocation starting to collapse here. Well, collapse is too strong a word. Starting to come down. Money's shifting out of the stock market and into the bond market. Aristocator is, however, collapsing. This shows that already, I told you already that the smart money had already moved out of the marketplace. Now the dumb money is moving out of the market as well. The smart money here showed that it moved out a couple of weeks ago in December, and it continues to go into more safer, secure elements. For you fully paid up members, I'll show you exactly what sectors they're going to go into. It's going to surprise you what sectors they're going into. Global shares, boring, who cares? Don't want to waste any time in there. Our Greek stock market, my favorite, is continuing to grind higher. So right now we still, if you got in when I told you to, you've got a nice little profit. Not much of one, but at least a little one. Japanese shares, looks like it's time to get out. We're starting to break down here. We had a huge run, as you can see on this chart, and I'm going to come back into this maybe as early as next week. But Japanese shares have had a huge run. We've made a huge amount of money, and now they're starting to break down. So I don't want to get there at all. The breakdown is just temporary, and we'll get back into Japanese shares later. Bonds, I told you, money's flowing out. Now, this is fascinating to me. So I told you, I showed you that asset allocation, and I showed you how money is flowing out of the stock market and into the bond market. In spite of that, I'm becoming even more bearish on bonds. Number one, with all that money going into the bond market, that's the size of the rally. That's pathetic. When something barely struggles higher on quite bullish news, that's bearish. Second factor, look at the red arrow. Markets, that's the RSI. It's getting up to the 50% level. That's that dotted line. Now, the market's barely budged up, but the RSI has gone up quite smartly, and that means that when the move starts to move lower, we're going to have lots of room to the downside. Now, fundamentally, if we have a stronger economy, we are going to have higher inflation, and we're going to have to start to see start to see more and more pressure on the bonds. So I think, once again, this is a rally in a bear market. Don't want to be short right now, but boy, it's setting up for another big leg down. Bond key factors. You can see that this is, remember, this is yields, not prices. So kind of a mixed bag. But I put in that purple box, you can see that the blue line, that's the 10-year Treasury in Germany. And that's been the most powerful factor on the U.S. 10-year Treasury. And it's starting to show lower interest rates. And I think that's the main reason why we're seeing that in the U.S. The dollar, we talked about this in the consolidation, it's going to correct as well. Gold correcting just as I told you it would last week. But check this out. All of our indicators are now neutral. For the first time, we're actually starting to see some strength. By strength, I mean not going down anymore. So look at this market. I'm going to wait another week. No rush to get into the gold market. By the end of next week, we should see some of these indicators either turn bullish or bearish. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to follow what the indicators tell me to do, because this is an objective system that's worked for decades. Oil. What can I say? It's grinding higher, but I think it's running out of gas on the upside. Look at that curve. I think we're going to top out here. Consumption is starting to increase a little bit, but production, the spigot can be turned on dramatically. OPEC, in spite of look, why is this market rallying? Is because they think that there's going to be, OPEC's going to dial down the amount of oil they're producing. Are you ready for this? They hit a new all-time high in the latest month. So really, that they're not going to cut production. Let's get realistic. But I'm not going to cut any of the content out here. No, we're going to keep on giving you more and more. All right, freebies. Hang on for a commercial. Fully paid up members, hang on for more great information, analysis, and specific trades. Hey, Courtney Smith here, and I want to tell you about TradeSmith, our video weekly newsletter. Yeah, I've been bringing the hammer to the market for over 45 years, and now I share that expertise with you every week in a terse, to-the-point video newsletter. Now, see, back in the old days, I actually ran the #1 stock newsletter in the United States for 5 years, according to the Hulbert Financial Digest. I crushed the market. I went where the action was, and for 5 years, when I did this newsletter, it was the #1 rated most profitable newsletter there was. There's a picture of it. In addition, I also ran the #1 mutual fund, growth mutual fund in the United States. There it is. There it is. There's Morningstar. Look at that chart. Ooh, that's a beautiful looking chart there. And I was #1. Well, and no losing year in 40 years. I've been doing this for a long time, and I want to share that expertise with you so that you don't have to go through 40 years of experience. Trust me, I bled a lot in those 40 years, but what that means is I've led a lot, and I've shown tens of thousands of people how to make money in my career. Now, first of all, in this newsletter, we're going to cover the key markets. We're going to talk about the U.S. stock market. We're going to talk about global stock markets. We're going to talk about foreign exchange. We're going to talk about futures, yeah, even commodities, oil. We're going to talk about bonds so that this is a one-stop shop. You can come here. You don't need anything else. We're going to use options whenever we have the opportunity to leverage up and turbocharge our profits. We're going to do it. Now, this is totally unique analysis. You think that if I did what everybody else did, I would have those #1 track records? Of course not. What I have to do is unique. That's the only way you can beat the competition out there year after year after year. So, deep fundamental analysis. I'm going to talk about this on 2 levels. First of all, fundamental analysis of the market, monetary policy, economic policy, trade flows, all of those sorts of things, but on a very, very deep level. I've studied macroeconomics for decades now, and I've been using that analysis for decades. In addition, we look at deep fundamentals of individual stocks when we look at our stock market trades. That is to say, we're going to tear apart these companies. I focus a lot on a few key metrics. One of them, strong earnings growth. In the final analysis, that's the thing that really drives stock prices. Another factor that drives stock prices is when earnings per share estimates are going up. That is to say, when a broker changes their estimate from 10 cents a share to 20 cents a share, they call their clients buy the stock, and the price goes up. So those are the 2 most powerful techniques that affect the price of a stock. And I'm going to tear that apart and show you why I love these companies. But at the same time, just because it's a great company doesn't mean it's a great stock. We need to be able to time these things and buy them when it's good to buy and sell them when it's good to sell. So I'm going to show you unique technical analysis you can't get anyplace else. It's a combination of a number of indicators. Some of them you might have seen elsewhere, but I use them in a unique way. Others, you've never seen them anyplace else. I'm the inventor of those techniques. But you know what? Even the techniques that I use of other people, I use from people who are friends of mine. Yes, I've been around this market so long that most of the greatest technicians in history have been friends of mine. In addition, I'm going to show you ninja trading tactics. How are we going to get the best fill? How do we enter the orders? Are we going to use stop orders, or are we going to use limit orders or market orders? All of those sorts of things I'm going to give you in our weekly video newsletter. Key benefits of the newsletter. #1, killer analysis that you're not going to find anyplace else. This is unique. This is unusual. And I have to make it unique. I have to make it unusual because that's the only way I can be #1. By the way, I was voted #1 bond and gold market timer for 3 years in a row by Timers Digest. You can only do that when you have unique and killer analysis. Killer trades, because once we've got the analysis, we need to make money from it. We need to turn it into an actionable item, something that we can actually do in the real world. So I'm going to give you killer trades. I'm going to tell you specifically where to buy, specifically where to sell. Nothing is left to the imagination. I'm precise. It's also to the point. I don't want to waste time. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. So no BS, no stories, no jokes, no nothing. Right to the point. Here's what to do. Here's why to do it. And here's how to make money from it. So I'm going to keep it terse. It's about 20 minutes per week. Right to the point with all the analysis. I show you the charts right on the screen so you know exactly why I'm doing it. You can double check my work. If I show you an indicator and I say this is what it means, I'll show you the recent past and you can see if it worked recently. Of course, it does. Now, actionable. That's a key thing. So many analysts out there, it's blah, 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 blah. It seems to me that all they want to do is they love the sound of their own voice. They want to sound smart. You know what? I don't care if I sound smart. That's not the point of the exercise. I'm not here to try to impress you. I'm here to help you make money. I'm doing all the same trades that I recommend to you. So trust me, they better be profitable. Easy. Like I say, I'm going to give you the exact entry, exit points. It's going to be super easy. Just type them into your brokerage platform, and there you go. It can't be any easier than that unless I came over to your house and typed in the orders myself. It's only $47 a month. This is a peanut for what you're getting. This is killer analysis, killer trades. This is something where, you got to stop and think of it this way. Can I make $47 more per month if I subscribe to this newsletter, or am I not going to make $47 per month? You know the answer. The answer is, of course, you're going to make at least 47, probably 10 times that, probably 100 times that, probably 1,000 times more than the $47, depending on the size of your account and if you follow all of my trades. So also, I want you to have a lot of free bonuses right up front. As soon as you sign up for the first month, I'm going to give you thousands of dollars of free bonuses. A lot of them are options related because I'm an owner of a company called Options University, and we've got some great education there, from option beginner to pro in just 4 nights. I like using options if I can because they can turbocharge the profitability. They can also be used to cut risk at the same time. That's a pretty awesome combination. So I'm going to give you from options beginner to pro in just 4 nights. Great introductory course for an option beginner. I'm going to give you how to quickly and easily master the top 20 technical indicators, some of which I use, but of course, as I say, I often use them in tricky new ways, and I'll show those to you as well. Retire rich with 10x income. I love this course. Really, isn't that what we all want, is to retire rich? And hey, why retire rich? How about retire rich and early with 10x income? This is an awesome course. You're going to love this course. It's going to get you focused so that you can retire rich. The secret is out with gamma trading. Now, this one's more advanced. I'm not kidding you with this. Gamma trading, I used to be an options market maker in the institutional world. I didn't deal with retail customers, only with banks. And what did we do? We did gamma trading all day long. It's something that's so super sophisticated that very few retail investors ever really understand it. This course gives you the insight into how to do this sophisticated technique. So we started from option beginner at our top bonus. This one, advanced and very super cool. Another one is, I love this. Come on. We're going to give you a new option strategy every month. So what's going to happen is you're going to receive a new option strategy every single month for 12 months, give you a month to master the strategy for the month, and then learn a new one, and then learn a new one. This is a great concept so that you can learn in a relaxed fashion. Gotta love it. I'm also going to give you 82-page manual on candlestick secrets. This is a particular style of trading, using, instead of bar charts, using candlesticks. What's cool is it's got flashcards. It's really very cool because you actually get to learn just like you did when you were a kid. So it makes it super easy. You can be studying while you're sitting there on the subway or whatever, looking through those flashcards, the tutorials, the manual. It's awesome. And then finally, a very secretive part of the universe, foreign exchange options trading, where we combine foreign exchange trading with options trading profiting from the two hottest markets. So I'm giving you 7 bonuses here. The value, if you were to go and buy those, go to optionsuniversity.com. Check them out. You'll see the price is just under $2,200. So when you sign up for just $47 a month, I'm going to give you these 7 bonuses right away. You're going to be able to access them right away. So let's repeat. You get the weekly video briefing with actionable advice. You get the 7 valuable bonuses, and all for just $1.56 a day. Come on. Really? You don't think it's worth less than $1.56 a day? Come on, man. You can't get a Starbucks coffee for $1.56, but you can get one of the best video newsletters ever. In fact, I believe it's the first video newsletter ever. But you're getting the same insights and the same techniques that I used to build that incredible track record of being the highest performing, most profitable newsletter for 5 straight years. All for $1.56 a day. This is a peanut. So what do you got to do? It's simple. You go to bit.ly/weekly market forecast, and yes, the W and the M and the F have to be capitalized, but go to bit.ly/weekly market forecast right now to subscribe, get involved, full money back guarantee, of course. Do it right now. You're going to really enjoy it. I'm not allowed to promise you that you'll make money. The SEC, the FTC, they'll come down on me like a ton of bricks. But I know what my track record is. I think as long as you follow the advice, I think you're going to be very happy. I'm allowed to say you're going to be happy. I'm not allowed to say you'll make money or they'll come down on me like a ton of bricks. We don't like that. So here's what I need you to do. Go to bit.ly/weekly market forecast with the capital W, M, and F right now. Go there right now. Check it out. Sign out. Full money back guarantee. Get all the bonuses. Try it for a month. I know you're going to love it. Thanks very much, and I'll see you on TradeSmith. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.